Amy Rowe is our county agent, Dr. Amy Rowe. She's associate professor from Rutgers. She represents both Passaic and Essex County. She wears many hats, and I'm so delighted she's going to share her expertise with us tonight. So with that being said, I'm going to turn that over to you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everybody. It's good to be here. I am going to be talking about stormwater, but I just want to give you some background about Rutgers. I am the county agent for Rutgers Cooperative Extension here in Essex and Passaic counties. And in case you haven't heard of Rutgers Cooperative Extension, we are the outreach portion of the university. So we bring the research from New Brunswick and the main campus out into the local community. And so you may have heard of us, you may not have, but this is our mission. I'm not going to read it, but you may have heard of the 4-H department. That's one of our main departments here at Rutgers Cooperative Extension. We work with kids. My department is agriculture and natural resources, so I'm the environmental agent here in the county, so I can help you with stormwater, with water quality issues, air quality, all kinds of things. Then we also have a family and community health sciences and the Office of Continuing Professional Education. Some of you may have taken classes through their office, and so these are all the departments in Rutgers Cooperative Extension. But again, we are bringing all the knowledge from the university out into the community at the local level. So that's what we do, and so I'm here for you. My contact information is at the end of this program, so if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to me. But that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to talk to you guys about stormwater, about the watershed here at Packanack Lake, and what homeowners can do and what the community can do to reduce runoff, to reduce impacts to the lake, and to all the little behaviors that you can do to improve the water quality of the lake. So let's just dive right in. Do you guys remember like 3rd grade earth science, the water cycle? So in case you don't remember, because it may be a long time ago for some people, you have rain clouds forming in the atmosphere that leads to precipitation that will then run off all of our hard surfaces, so all of our driveways, our highways, our rooftops, but also any compacted ground will also lead to runoff. Some of the water may infiltrate down into the soil, and then a whole lot of that water evaporates back up into the atmosphere, either through evaporation off of those surfaces or off of plants, off of exposed soil, and then you have the whole cycle all over again. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about all of these things. So I mentioned Packanack Lake as a watershed. Do you guys know what a watershed is? Have you heard that term? Does anyone have any idea? You guys gonna be shy? Yes.
Yeah, to me, a watershed is just like a drainage basin where
Yes.
Something, a whole area of where rain comes down and drains into one area.
Exactly. So I don't even need to show this video of Jim Cantor from the Weather Channel, because you pretty much nailed that. So basically, it's like a funnel. It's taking all of the water across the whole watershed down into a receiving water body, which here happens to be Packanack Lake, and then Packanack Lake is part of the Passaic River watershed. And so all of the actions of all the homeowners in this watershed will impact Packanack Lake. I'm sure you guys have seen the algae blooms. You're aware of the water quality issues here in the lake and across all of the water bodies here in northeastern New Jersey. And so we're trying to improve that water quality. We're trying to get everybody on board to care about their watershed and to care about Packanack Lake. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about all the things that you can do as homeowners and as a community to improve the water quality here. Because all of the parts of the watershed all lead down to that receiving water. So everybody, no matter where you live, you're part of a watershed, and your behaviors and your actions on your own property will impact everyone downstream. Everybody lives downstream of somebody. and that those behaviors will impact our watershed. So these are just the different parts of the watershed, and so even the groundwater is part of the watershed, and so we need to be aware of what we're doing, how all of our landscaping techniques are impacting the water body and impacting the water quality. And so just to give you some perspective, New Jersey has a lot of urban development, but before we did, we had a lot of our water going down into groundwater. So we had infiltration at the shallow level, infiltration at the very deep level down into groundwater, only a little bit of runoff, and then everything else going back up into the atmosphere. But now that we are heavily developed, especially here in northeastern New Jersey, we have only a little bit of infiltration, a lot of runoff, and still a little bit of evapotranspiration going back up into the atmosphere. So all of those rooftops, those driveways, those parking lots, those roadways, all of those things are impervious surfaces that don't allow the water to infiltrate back down into our groundwater or down into our receiving waters. And so all of that is leading to flooding issues, leading to major runoff issues that, as you know, you live in Wayne, you've probably seen that localized flooding from all of that runoff when it rains. So, because all of those hard surfaces are collecting contaminants when it's dry, all of those solids, all of those oils and greases from cars, all of the trash, the litter, the debris, all of the poop from geese, all of those things are being collected when it rains as non-point source pollution. There's not a single person that is contributing to all of that as a contamination source. It's just society pollution versus point source, which is something like a factory that's discharging contaminants directly into a water body. So this is non-point source pollution that we are worried about when we're talking about runoff and stormwater. So just to reiterate this, here are some examples of non-point source pollution. You can see like how many geese are contributing to this. Do you guys know how much one goose can poop per day? Do you guys know? How many pounds? How many pounds of poop do you think one single geese? It's 1 pound of poop per day per goose. So I don't even know how many geese are in this picture. So that's a lot of phosphorus. That's a lot of nitrogen going directly into our water bodies. So we need to manage this in a smart way. And obviously the geese population is a whole another issue. We could have a whole talk just on controlling geese, but just be aware that all of these things lead to contaminated water bodies. Okay, but why do we care? Well, we care because we want our water quality to be good. Because when you have algae blooms, even the wildlife don't want to be there, but this impacts all of your recreational activities, all of your tourism, fishing, and then for up here in northern New Jersey, a lot of our drinking water comes from surface water bodies, so reservoirs, lakes, streams, and so we want to make sure that our water bodies are as clean as possible in terms of water quality. Okay, I don't want to overwhelm you with all the science, but these are all the things that could possibly be in our runoff in terms of contaminants. And so I'm not going to read all of this, but just be aware that everything that we put down or that we could put into the environment can end up in our receiving body. So everything will end up here in Packanack Lake. It will end up in the Passaic River. And so all those pesticides, all those fertilizers, all of those metals, all of those things will end up down in our water bodies. And so we want to make a difference. We want to be as smart as we can in terms of our behavior and what we're doing to reduce the impacts here. Okay, and so part of the problem is that we don't allow nature to do its part. All of our stormwater management systems are just connected impervious surfaces. So we have a rooftop, we have a downspout, it goes into the driveway, it goes out to the street, and then it goes to a retention basin or out into our water body. So there's no opportunity for plants to uptake that water, to filter those contaminants out, or to improve that water quality. There's no opportunity for groundwater recharge. There's no giving that water back to our groundwater, back to our streams. And so sometimes all of the stormwater that's coming off of all of those hard surfaces is moving so quickly that it leads to erosion, and it really starts to break down the water body that's receiving it. Okay, so what can we do? That's why we're here. This is why your stormwater committee and all of your lake committees are meeting and working on all of these solutions. But what can we do as homeowners?